Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. Hope all is well today. Happy Tuesday. Man, I appreciate you guys coming on and joining me for this, this quick hour-long journey about, On Air with Russell of Hotels, and it's show number 191 on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. So, no, thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. I don't take it lightly that people will tune in and say, let me see what this Russell of Hotels is talking about. He says he has this live hospitality talk show. What the heck is it? What does that mean? And I know there's somebody out there that's thinking that, okay, so it's okay. All right, you can say it, you can admit it. But no, I want to thank everybody for joining. Let me just real quick, let me turn on my chat. So you can feel free to make comments at your leisure. Let me just make sure. I don't know what I'm doing here. There you go. Okay. So yeah. So make sure. Feel free to make comments as we go on, because I do encourage the engagement, all that stuff. Right. I encourage engagement. At the very least, if you show yourself there, I will at least give you a shout out. And don't let me have a story about you. A good story. I don't put anybody on blast and stuff like that. Blast is a good thing, right? So when I put somebody on blast, that's a good thing. That's recognizing you, right? So and if I know you from somewhere, like, oh, that's so-and-so from blah, 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 blah. That's someone from Blythe. If you're from Blythe, oh, man, you're going to get it. You're going to get it, okay? Because for people that don't know, I am from Blythe, California, right? So I love when people from Blythe come on, because I just appreciate hometown people, right? So, no, I appreciate that. So, but anyway, this is a live hospitality talk show. We talk about everything hospitality, the good, the bad, the ugly. I come up with my own topics every Tuesday that I do this. This is live on LinkedIn, as well as live on YouTube, with the replay on those same platforms, as well as I add a couple of the platforms, like I'll throw it on Twitter, I'll put it on Facebook as well. Because I want people to see it. So at your leisure, you can listen to it, you can watch it, you can see me, my antics or whatever. And if you choose not to do that, it's a podcast as well. So at the same time, meaning simultaneously, as I'm speaking, the audio portion is being recorded, and I will take that audio portion and put it onto podcast platforms. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, it's going to be there. Okay. Let's see. What is Dylan saying? And like I said, I will always make time to read the comments. And Dylan Beaumont, who's the general manager at the Fairfield Inn by Marriott in Eugene, Oregon, he says, I love when Cheryl's family says, what's Blythe? So yeah, a lot of people don't know what Blythe is. They don't know what Blythe is or where it is. And what the hell, Russell and Cheryl on Friday evenings? Yeah, I do a couple different segments. Okay, so this is one segment or one show that I do. This is the longest running show, right? 191 episodes. But Cheryl Rogers and if you don't know Cheryl Rogers, you may know the voice, you may not know her, but the voice on my intro is actually Cheryl. Okay, so she actually does my intro, or did my intro and my exit, right? So if you know Cheryl and you heard that voice before, like, say, that voice sounds familiar. Well, that's actually Cheryl Rogers. So her and I do this show because we're both hospitality. She's a meeting planner. I'm a hotel site selection person, expert, company, whatever you want to call it. We do this show called What the Hell on Friday nights at 5 o'clock, but it's only on Instagram, right? So we do that, and we have these what the heck or what the hell moments that we share, right? Throughout her day, throughout my week, or whatever the heck it is, we have these moments that we share, and it's always a good time. It's always fun. So it starts with hospitality, but it quickly veers off to some other stuff. And I can be as silly as I want to be on there. I'm not as professional on that one as I am here. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so feel free to tune into that as well. So thank you, Dylan, for mentioning that and giving a plug for that show. But we're here to talk about On Air with Russell of Hotels. So there you go. So let's jump into some industry news, and feel free to, like I said, make your comments. I will see them or I will hear them pop up. Just use your chat box and just say, hey, boo, whatever. Where you're located. That's always good to do a geographical kind of thing. Like Dylan's in, he's in wherever the heck he is. He's in, where are you, Dylan? He's in Eugene, Oregon, right? I already mentioned that. He's in Eugene, Oregon. So I appreciate when people do that. I see Desiree Benson, great day, schoolmate. Okay, Desiree and I went to Cal Poly Pomona together back in the day. I ain't gonna tell you what that day was, but it was a couple years ago. Okay, and Desiree she's always been supportive, and I appreciate her. And we collaborate on some things, and she asked questions, and that's the thing. People use me as a resource, and that's always a good thing, right? So just a real quick story. Desiree, she's explain what you do, Desiree. It's in travel. It's in the travel space as well. Well, anyway, just real quick. She was looking for because they do meetings every once a month, and let's just say it's in Las Vegas, right? And she called me and asked me, hey, do you have any connections in Las Vegas? We're looking. She told me what she was looking for. They needed just a meeting room once a month or whatever. And, I happen to have a contact in Vegas. So I called up the contact or emailed them, did kind of a e-introduction, and it all worked out, right? So she actually used that meeting space for like a year, right? You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. When I mean I'm a resource, I mean, darn it, I'm a resource. So if I can help, I'm here to help, right? And of course, I'm gonna help Desiree because we went to school together and we're friends. But that doesn't mean I won't help anyone else, right? I'll help anybody, right? So just let me know, give me some time, and we'll go from there. So I market home-based travel. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's a good way to put it because I wouldn't have put it like that. So that's why I always ask, right? She said she has a home-based travel business. Okay, it's based at home, right? But they do go on the road and they do have meetings and hotels and stuff like that. So that's where I was able to assist her with that. You're the absolute best. We are still meeting there. Oh, I didn't know that. This month, okay, they've been there over a year. See, I did not know that, right? See, that's what I'm talking about, right? So there you go. When I say resource, that's what I mean. But no, thank you so much, Desiree. I do appreciate that. And then go Broncos, okay? That's Cal Poly's mascot. Okay. Anyway, oh my goodness, that was funny. Okay, industry news. Did I say it was show number? It's show number 191, and I had 190 right there. So let me just show you how quick I can change that. Boom. See, it said 190 before at the bottom of the scroll. It's 191 now. See, that's how this works, right? I help people start their own business from home around their busy schedules. Okay, go Niners. Oh, whatever. Okay, now she's a Niner fan. Okay, all right. No, thank you, Desiree. No, I appreciate that, and thank you for coming on. I do appreciate that. Industry news. Boom. I got a lot of stuff here, right? So, what does all this mean? Okay, so let me just read these things. Little things make a big difference. Okay, being in the lobby is not the same as having a presence in the lobby. Okay, next one. Managers are there to support their team, and the other one, Russell of Hotels Rate. So I'm gonna take each one of those as it comes up, of course, right? So one at a time. Little things make a big difference. Okay, so the last week I've been, and this is more hotel operational stuff, right? And one thing I do is I go to a lot of hotels, right? So, and I hang out, I camp out, I make it my office of the day, right? So whatever hotel I go to, I got my backpack, I got my laptop, I'm using your free internet, your free Wi-Fi, I'm using all that. Okay, I'm here for that, right? So that's what I do. So, but along the way, as I'm doing my work, I'm observing what's going on in hotel lobbies, right? Sometimes the busier the better. So I get there in the morning when maybe heavy checkout time or just a lot of people in the lobby and stuff like that. So case in point, I was at the Marriott, and I'll name this hotel, right? I was at the Marriott LAX last Friday. Okay, now mind you, the championship game, Georgia versus TCU was just last night. So there's a lot of people in town for that. And the Marriott, of course, they're like one of the sponsors. Marriott International is a sponsor for college football, like all the championships and all that kind of stuff for the NCAA. So which is great, right? So they get a lot of business because of that. So I'm in the lobby of the Marriott LAX, right? I hadn't been there in a while, and they've done a great job in doing remodeling or refurbishing or just keeping it up to date, right? But that ain't the story, right? But I'm there, and like I said, I'm watching. I'm doing my work. I'm at one of those work desks, and I'm just kind of watching the area, right? Just seeing what's going on. Management presence, meaning a manager that's there, that's kind of walking around, right? But he's not just there, right? He has a presence, because there's a difference between a manager being in the lobby and a manager having presence in the lobby. Okay, so I'm gonna knock out two of these first two, right? Okay, so this manager was not just in the lobby, but he was okay. Let's just say there's a whole bunch of people, and they're using, they're sitting at the tables, sitting not in the tables, but they're utilizing the work areas. They're lounging, they're whatever, they're drinking their Starbucks, because there's a Starbucks in there as well, a real Starbucks, not just selling Starbucks coffee, but no, there's a real Starbucks in the lobby of the Marriott LAX, right? So of course there's a lot of waste, right? There's a lot of trash, and not a lot of trash, but people may leave, things behind as they get up and vacate that area and go somewhere else, right? Well, this manager is very attentive, right? So he's walking around. He's not only talking to people, but when people get up and walk away, he's, if they left their Starbucks cup, he's taking it, he's discarding it, he's picking up the napkins, he's throwing stuff away, he's making sure he wipes it down. He has a rag in his he just pulls out a rag out of his pocket. I'm like, okay, this dude is good, right? Because I'm watching the whole thing, right? So he's doing that. He's making sure the chairs are uniform. Basically, all the chairs that are in line or whatever, they're all uniform, right? So he's making sure it's presentable for the next guest, right? And he's walking around throughout the lobby. He's doing this, and between doing, making sure the tables and chairs are clean for the next person or presentable for the next person, he's talking to guests. He's asking them questions. They're asking him. He's giving directions. He's, those frequently asked questions that guests ask. Where's the restroom? Where do I catch my transportation? Where's the pool area? Is there a gym in here? Whatever those questions are, he's offering he's answering those questions. And I'm on the other side of the room, but I'm watching him do all this stuff, right? And I'm thinking to myself, now, back when I was a GM, okay, I ain't trying to say that, don't get me wrong, okay, but yeah, I did the same thing, okay? I was doing that too, and I was asking myself, I was like, Russell, is this something that's within someone? Is he trained to do that? Because although Marriott gives you a lot of, they give you a lot of training, they give you a lot of SOPs, there's certain things that are just innate, meaning you do because that's part of your being, right? And like I said, I don't know if this guy he could have been just the manager on duty. He could have been the front office manager. I don't know. He could have been a general manager. I don't know what his position was, and it didn't matter. What matters was he was engaging in every guest that he came in contact with. He was engaging with, like I said, he was cleaning up areas and making them presentable for the next person. That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference between someone being in the lobby and having a presence in the lobby. And what that does, and that people may think, oh, that's a little thing for him to, put the chairs back, Well, no, it's a huge thing, because when people come in, they see that it's presentable for them to sit there, right? Oh, okay. They may not have seen the guy that cleaned it or seen the person that cleaned it, but they see that it's uniform. It's ready for them to sit there. It's ready for them to take their place there. It's ready for them to do some work there. Now, if it had a coffee cup and it was dirty and all that, you think they would sit there? No, they would go somewhere else, or maybe they go. Maybe they'll leave. Maybe they'll go back to their room and say, you know what, this lobby is whack. Why would I go down there? So it is a little thing, but it makes a huge difference when it comes to the guests. And it also makes a huge difference when it comes to employees, because that manager is answering questions that sometimes the front office or the front desk attendees get bombarded with. Instead of, checking people in, checking people out, getting payment, all that kind of stuff, now they're bombarded with a bunch of questions which somebody could have taken off of their plate, right? Meaning this manager is actually engaging with guests and things like that, and he's helping out the process. Those are the things that make a huge difference to the team, right? And to the guests, right? So that's what I'm talking about. When I mean little things make a big difference, that was huge. I'm sitting there watching this guy in action, and he's just doing what he normally does, right? But to me, it doesn't happen at every hotel. And believe me, I go to a lot of hotels. I went to the hotel yesterday, and that same thing was not happening. It was a different hotel. It was on the same street, but it was a different hotel. But this is the thing. There was a manager in the lobby, but his presence was not felt. Okay, he wasn't doing the things that this person was doing. The previous person was doing, right? Previous manager. He was in the lobby, hands folded, like this, kind of watching the operation. And when I mean the lobby was busy, it was cranking. It was people ordering food. There's people ordering drinks. People were having a good time. This is right before the game, right? So this was about, I think I was in there about 1 o'clock. The game started at 4. So these people were ready or waiting for the bus to come and pick them up to take them to the stadium, to SoFi Stadium, for yesterday's or last night's game. So, they're spending money. They're frenzy. They're in a frenzy. They're foaming at the mouth. I'm University of Georgia. You're TCU. They're eating. They're having a good time. But the managers weren't helping out that situation. They weren't walking around, engaging and picking things up and presenting it for the next person that's coming. They weren't doing that. They were just like observing the operation, like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, there's a lot of excitement, but they're not thinking the same. So their mindset was a lot different. So I'm saying that to say this, if you're going to have a presence, if you're going to be in a lobby, make sure you have a presence there. Make sure that their presence is being felt, meaning you're helping out the operation. You're helping out your employees first, and you're helping out your guests, okay? That's what I'm talking about. And that little thing that you think, picking up a cup and changing the chair's angle to make sure it's uniform with the rest of the chairs, that makes a big difference. And believe me, it does, because like I said, I go to a lot of hotels. I see it. I can pick it up in the first couple of minutes that I'm in the lobby. Is this a well-organized hotel lobby, or is the management, is it an attentive management or a non-attentive management? I can tell. So anyway, look at the comments. Dylan says, from someone who frequents hotels, this is a big compliment to that general manager. What is regular, what is good, and what is exceptional. Yeah, you're right, Dylan. Desiree says that's huge. Make your presence felt. That's a good word. Yeah. It's one thing to be in there, but you have to have a presence, right? So you have to have a presence. So, no, thank you guys for those comments. That's work ethic at its best. Yeah, like I said, you have to have something that's in you, because you can have all the experience in the world, but for whatever reason, doing that little extra thing, that just goes over your head like, oh, I'm not going to waste my time doing that. No, that helps out. That helps out the operation. That lets your employees see you like, oh, shoot, if Russell can do that, I can do that. I mean, he's that type of manager. So when they raise up to being a manager, they remember that stuff, right? But like I said, either you have it or you don't. And 1 out of 2 had it. The other one, like I said, was just all about watching the operation, not engaging in anything. And I was there for about an hour. I just wanted to watch. And a manager sitting in one spot, standing in one spot for over an hour, with darn near the whole time with his hands folded. I'm like, what is this all about? What is really going on here? I started to go up there and say, hey, dude, what are you doing? No, I didn't. But anyway, but no, it's different management styles. Um, but it's just, and you can tell, and I hate to say this, from one brand to the next, you can tell a difference. You can tell someone that grew up in a corporate environment and someone that grew up in another non-corporate environment. That's what I'm gonna put it, because I came from both parts, but I started my career with a corporate property and then transitioned to more franchise property. But you can tell the difference. Sometimes you can really tell the difference. It really sticks out, and it's based on your training or maybe it's just basically how you came up in the industry. So, but anyway, that's just me, and that's, like I said, that's my experience. These are all about my experiences and what I just, from being a manager and from being in the industry for darn near 30 years, you know what I mean? Those are things that I have picked up. And like I said, I can go to any lobby and see what the heck is going on here. So, but anyway, so little things do make a big difference. Let me get that out of there. Boom. And being in the lobby is not the same as having a presence in the lobby. So you guys need to rewind this. This is a case study, right? Just rewind it and listen to it again, and maybe you'll learn something. And managers are there to support the team. And basically, like I said, doing all those things supports your team. You think it's a little thing to be in the lobby and maybe answer some questions or pick up a coffee cup and move a chair. It makes a big difference, and that's part of support, not just your team, but it supports the guests that are in the lobby as well. Boom. Let's see. Bill says okay, no, I read that one already. And like I said, I do read your comments. Make your presence felt. That's a good word. Yes, I will remember to be present. The little things make a big difference. So there you go, Desiree Black. You know what? You go ahead, classmate. You go ahead. I love the Marriott brand. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people do. Okay. No, I love it too. I always say this. I love what it taught me, because I came from an area when I got out of school and my first job was with Marriott. Okay. I had no hotel experience. Okay. So I needed to go and work for a corporate company that was kind of SOP driven. When I mean SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. They had everything in a book. Okay. It was like that. Okay. It was this thick. It's like the hotel Bible for the most part, or the company Bible, where everything was written in there, and anything you can think of was in there. If you had to go to the bathroom, you can look up, going to the bathroom, and it was the SOP for that. It would tell you don't go to the guest bathroom unless you work at the front desk. Unless you were a front office or front desk associate, you should go to a employee only restroom. But first you have to ask for permission. You got to, okay with your supervisor and all that. I mean, it was mapped out to the T as to what you could do. And I needed that, right? Because I came from, like I said, I just came straight from school. My first job was Marriott. Okay. So, and as a manager or housekeeping manager trainee, there's a lot of things I didn't know, right? So it gave you, okay, for the next 3-4 years, I was SOP driven. But, all good things come to an end. And I'm like, well, okay, now I'm SOP driven, but now let me apply this somewhere else. So, and to this day, I still apply some of those same things, some of those same learnings and teachings that I, from my first experience in hotels with Marriott, I still use to this day. So there you go. So if they didn't have an influence on my hotel career, I don't know who did. So anyway, okay. So Russell Hotels rate. Now, I talked about this last week, right? So, and I'm being intentional, right? One thing I'm going to be for 2023 is intentional. I want hotels to offer a Russell of Hotels rate. So basically, you go to a hotel. Let's just say let's just say a Marriott hotel. Let's just use that as an example, okay? So I get with Marriott, and they say, okay, yeah, you add value to the brand, okay? Russell of Hotels adds value to our brand, so we're going to offer you this rate, okay? So you go to the website, because you always should book direct. If there's a Russell of Hotels rate or not, you should always book direct, okay? Don't go through the third party. Book direct. You're going to get the best rate. And if you have issues with the hotel, you go to the hotel and deal with the issue, right? Or they'll deal with your issue or assist you with your issue. But if you book outside of that, you go through a third party. We call them OTAs, which is online travel agent, like an Expedia, Hotels.com. Well, remember this: Hotels.com or Expedia, they don't own the hotel. The hotels you're booking at, they own the hotel, right? So book through them. If there's issues, they will take care of it. But if you have issues and you book through a third party, more than likely you're going to have to go to that third party to get it resolved, okay? And that can be another issue, okay? And we always think that the rates are going to be better if you go through a third party. No, that's not true. They're not, okay? And because we see it on TV, well, it has to be the best rate. They say it on TV. Don't believe everything that you hear. Do your research, people, okay? Do your research. Have them side by side. Have one screen open, OTA, and one at whatever hotel chain that you're trying to, book, and see what the rates are. Okay, that's what I do. All right, I use the OTAs to see where I want to be, what hotels in the area, but I don't book through them. I always book through the brand. Okay, so I always say this all the time, and it's funny how people I've been telling for years, and they have to find out for themselves. I had this friend a couple of weeks ago. He called me, and we were talking about some other stuff. But he was saying he went to Vegas, and he said, hey, you know what? It's better to book direct. And I'm like, wait. What did you just say? He said, it's better to book direct because this situation came up. He had an issue, right? And he booked through a third party, and he got the runaround from the third party. And I said, well, haven't I been telling you for years? He said, yeah, but I just wanted to see because they say. I'm like, dude, are you serious? He said, I won't do that again. So it works. Just book through if that's Marriott, if that's Hilton, if that's IHG, if that's Best Western, whatever, Motel 6, book through them, okay? And I want those hotels to offer a Russell of Hotels rate. I said all that to circle back around. Russell of Hotels rate. So it give me a link, I'll promote that hotel. I'll promote the whole company, right? That's what I do anyway, right? I will create content for that hotel company just in exchange for the rate, okay? The rate code and all that. So say the rate code is ROH 2023. So you can go to whatever brand that is who's offering this Russell Hotels rate, and you just type in, you go to the reservation, and it says, where it has a little box for the code. You got a special code. You put in ROH 2023. Boom. Comes up with the Russell Hotels rate. You book it. Now it's linked, right? So they know this is trackable, right? Because hotels and companies right now, we do a lot of promotion. We pay for things, but we don't get anything in return. We don't know if it's measurable. Is it measurable? If we did that billboard sign on the 405 freeway, is it measurable? How do we know it's measurable? How do we know that we're getting business as a result of that billboard on the 405? We don't, right? But this way, you would know. So if I put a sign on the side of the freeway that says Russell Hotels rate, no one's going to know what the heck is it? Okay, Russell Hotels rate. All right, whatever. It's not trackable, right? It's not trackable. But in a system, it is trackable. So you put that rate in, boom, they're able to track it, and I only get paid if it gets booked. If it doesn't get booked, I don't get paid. Isn't that simple? Doesn't that sound good to me? Good to you? So that's what I'm working on, right? So I'm going to keep talking about that every week. I check my website first, OTA and direct, and I call directly. Whichever one benefits me as a travel professional is what I do. Very good. There you go. You go, Desiree. In the first month of the pandemic, guests sought refunds for cancellations from OTAs and couldn't even reach a human or any form of response. There you go. So Dylan speaking like a true hotelier, okay? He knows the issues that come across because they reach him as well, right? So just book direct. And even if they don't have the Russell Hotels rates, still book direct. But when they do, definitely book direct and use that Russell of Hotels rate. So there you go. Boom. Congrats to, and I just heard this a little while ago. Congrats to my dear friend, Paula C. and Ask Suite. Oh, Ask Suite Hotel Chat Bot. What is a chat bot? So they got awards from Hotel Tech Report, okay? So #1 best website live chat live chat and chatbot. Number 3, best places to work. And number 5, Hotelier's Choice Award. So congratulations to them. And what Ask Suite basically does, those frequently asked questions that guests always ask, or say you're calling, you're trying to make a reservation or whatever. You can ask certain questions to this artificial AI, artificial intelligence, whatever person, bot, or whatever. That's a bot, right? That they will let you know, like, we're located 5821, blah, 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 Century Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. Okay, the chat bot will tell you all that stuff. Or if you want to would you want to make a reservation? Okay, click 1. Okay, that's what the chat bot does. So Ask Suite is basically for hotels, right? It's Ask Suite Hotel Chatbot. So these are some of the awards that they won. Once again, number 1, best website, live chat and chatbot. Number 3, best places to work. And number 5, Hotelier's Choice Award. And that came from Hotel Tech Report. So congratulations again to Ask Suite, as well as Paula C., who, I know Ask Suite because of Paula C. Paula C. and I have, she's like their marketing and promotion. She does branding for them. She does everything for them. When I say someone, we buy things because of this person, I only know Ask Suite because of Paula C. Because Paula C. has put herself out there to be like the face of this brand, which is Ask Suite. And I always throw this at salespeople all the time, hotel salespeople specifically. I say, you should aspire to be the face of your brand, right? Because people buy you before they buy whatever sign is on the whatever name is on the sign outside, right? It's just how it works, right? So it didn't matter that I work for whoever I work for, Sheraton or Hilton or whatever. They remember me, right? And they say, okay, I know Russell's going to take care of me, so I'm going to go with his hotel or wherever he is. I had people that were following me from hotel to hotel. And remember, I was at 14 different hotels, right? Not all as a salesperson. I would say as a salesperson, at least out of the 14, probably 9 or 10 hotels were in sales, right? So I had people that would follow me regardless of what hotel I went to. They followed me because they knew I was going to take care of whatever groups they had coming in or whatever it was. They knew I was going to take care of them. So that's what you want. So as a hotel salesperson, just remember it's okay to be the face, okay? It's okay to create content where people know who you are and they associate your brand, meaning your personal brand, with that brand that's on the sign outside, right? So just remember it's okay. And I'm gonna further, or in a minute, go over some ways you can do that. So once again, congratulations to Paula C. and her team. 3 things I always talk about: be intentional, make decisions, and take action on what's important to you. Be you, and then be represented because your representation matters. Be intentional. I was intentional what I said about the Russell of Hotels rate, right? I'm not giving up on that. It just started. In fact, the year just started. I can't give up, right? So I will continue that. That'll be the theme of the year: being intentional, getting that Russell of Hotels rate. Okay, whoever I need to talk to, I'm gonna talk to. Whatever I need to put out, whatever content I need to put out, I'm gonna continue to put it out because I think, I know that I can add a lot of value to some hotels. Okay, this was a plan from years ago, right? I just didn't know how to do it, right? So starting to be this hospitality personality, whatever, that's all part of a plan, right? To hopefully get to that point where so many people know who I am that, hey, they're going to book because of me. Is that a lofty goal? Yeah, it's a lofty goal. Is it a big dream? Heck yeah. But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So if you don't have big dreams, then what are you doing? Why are you dreaming? Stop dreaming if your dreams aren't big, right? So that's what I'm working on. It's important that people that look like me do what I'm doing. That maybe they have that hotel experience. And when I say I'm a hospitality personality, it doesn't come without some hard work behind it, right? It doesn't come without having a lot of experience to back it up, right? So a lot of people I can say, oh yeah, I'm a hospitality personality, but if I don't have any experience to back it up, well, how credible is that, right? So There you go. So, like I said, your representation matters. It matters that people that look like me do what I do, come on a show and talk about hotels because you know what? There's many people that are represented in the hotel space, right? And I'm one of those people that are represented, okay? And I just want to make sure that people see me and they understand, hey, I can do that too. Maybe I need to ask this dude how he got in this industry, okay? So, and I'm here for that as well. So, who's your best brand advocate? Well, if you haven't figured out that it's you, then just get off the show. Let's just sign off now. Yeah, you are your best brand advocate. If you don't show excitement, no one else is going to be excited. Paula C, and I'm going to use her as an example again. Paula C was excited about working for Ask Sweet, okay? And she showed it. She shows it in the lives that she does. She shows it on her Zoom calls. She shows it on her content that she creates, right? So she is her best brand advocate, and which happens to pour over into Ask Sweet. So, I mean, when I say case study, Paula C is a great case study on how you go from not being the face of the brand to being the face of the brand, and you see the results because of being the face of the brand. Let's see. I checked my way. Okay, I'm just looking at the comments here. Did I read that one already? Yes, I read that one already. Quote of the day. I posted content. We talk about content here again. I posted content today for a brand, but it's actually for tomorrow. What does that mean? Okay, I post content all the time for brands or for my own brand, right? But the content that you post is not for today. It's not for right now. Meaning, I don't expect results right now. I mean, that would be great if I said I want this Russell of Hotels rate and I posted on a content on a whatever on Instagram or whatever, and all of a sudden Marriott or Hilton or IHG or Hyatt or whoever calls me, right, and says, "Oh, we're gonna give this to you then because you asked for it." It don't work like that. Nothing works like that unless you have 10 million followers and yeah, it worked that way. But how many people have 10 million followers? That's not reality. It's not realistic for me to think that's going to happen, and it shouldn't be realistic for. I posted this, or I came up with this quote, and these are quotes that I come up with. Is because in my last hotel, I was the director of sales and marketing, and I was trying to move the hotel into a social media world, meaning right, this is the way marketing and branding and selling is going, right? Or more marketing and branding, less selling. But I was doing more of the marketing, right? So hence my position. But general managers and some people couldn't understand what I was doing, right? Because there was no instant results. There was not something that was just, okay, he did that, he posted this, now I should be getting business. Well, that's not how it works. And for somebody to think that, I mean, cuckoo. No, I didn't mean that. But that's not how it works. But people do think once you post something, then you should automatically get something in return. Well, that's not how it works. It's an ongoing thing. And why are you posting? First of all, know why you're posting. Okay, what do you expect from that post? Is it more branding? Are you selling? I mean, what's the CTA or the call of action after that? So there's a lot of things that are going on here that I'm trying to explain, but everybody doesn't understand what you're doing. And even when you try to explain it, they still don't understand it, right? So we would butt heads all the time because they didn't understand what social media was. And this is, I'm going to say 2017, okay? They didn't understand what it was, okay? So, I'm trying to explain as much as I can, but they still didn't get it. Well, what do you mean you posted this and then you didn't get anything in return? I'm like, dude, what I'm posting today, in the future, it's gonna, more people are gonna see it, but you got to continue to post, right? Even back then, I knew that you had to be consistent with this. It wasn't one time. It wasn't a one and done, and all of a sudden, oh shoot, I got all this business. No, that's not how it works. So just remember, I posted content today for a brand, or just for your brand, or just I posted content today, but it's actually for tomorrow, right? So meaning you haven't reached everybody. Continue to post and you reach more people. The more times they see it, the better it's going to be, right? So constantly continue to post. Okay, that's how you get things working. It's social media, right? It's not a one and done thing. It's consistency and it's value, right? And be you, all that kind of stuff. I got more comments. I see all about the experiences in the house. Hey, Miss Cheryl, how are you? Thank you so much for joining, Cheryl, the voice of my intro and my exit. She's the voice there, just in case you did not know. I mentioned that earlier. So that's the quote. What are you doing to keep your brand relevant? Well, okay, what do I do? These are some of the things I do. I'm not going to put any music onto this because I always get in trouble when I put the music. I'm the brand who helps your brand, okay? So just go ahead and read these. I'll make my comments as I see fit. And you can always rewind this, of course, on the replay and see exactly everything that I do. And yeah, some of the, some of the recognition I received over the last year. So I do appreciate all that. But yeah, so just make sure you go back and look at that. These are some of the things I do. And then that's it. A new segment that I'm doing. Okay, so some people have already heard of this because I've done it already. Did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? So this is a new segment that I'm doing for hospitality professionals because people want to know, how'd you get into this industry? Did you choose it? Meaning, did you go in knowing what you were getting into? Or did you took a part-time job and it ended up, you saw other things that you could be doing and it ended up being a career, right? Because a lot of people came in that way. I mean, I knew that I was going to work in hotels, right? I actually went to school for it, okay? Cal Poly Pomona, right? So I actually did, and I said, okay, I'm going to end up working in a hotel. There you go. I mean, I knew that was the path I was going. I mean, there was restaurant, there was not even meeting planning back then. Okay, meeting planning was a far-fetched thing that no one even knew. Event planning, they didn't even know what that was. That wasn't a thing. It was hotel, travel, and restaurant management. Those were kind of the three things back in the day, right? That you were either in one of those three segments, okay? But now it's kind of morphed into a lot more things, right? But I want to know where people, and not just me, I want to know how people got in the industry, right? So you just heard my brief story that I got into it. I went to school, so I knew that I was going to work in hotels, right? Some people, I have a friend, a colleague that she was a server at the pool, right? She was a part-time job. She didn't know what she wanted to do, but she knew she needed a job. So she had a job as a server at the pool at some hotel in Century City, and she ended up seeing other opportunities, right? So she did well as being a server, but that went, that kind of catapulted into other things, right? Because there's many things you can do, right? She ends up working at the front desk. She ends up getting into reservations, revenue management, ends up being a revenue manager. Then I meet her, and then I make her a salesperson or the director of sales. I end up hiring her as a director of sales later on, right? So you never know how they got into the industry. So that's what this segment is about. It's 15 to 20 minutes. It's a real quick thing. It's live here on YouTube as well as LinkedIn as well. It's, did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? What's your story? It's about people sharing their story and how they got in the industry. During my military service, I was responsible for arranging re-enlistment and retirement ceremonies. That's Miss Cheryl. Okay, there you go. So that's how she got into the industry, right? So when she probably retired from the service, I'm not sure if her first job was, kind of doing, doing events and things like that, but it was probably something along those lines, or maybe it was part of what she did. But now it's kind of morphed into something else where she's planning more meetings than she ever probably thought she would ever plan, right? So everybody got into this industry different, okay? So Cheryl needs to be on the show, right? She needs to be on there, and I'm going to ask two questions. I'm going to say, did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? And then the third one is going to be, what advice would you be giving, or what advice would you give someone new coming into the industry? Those are the three questions that I asked. 15 and 20 minutes. Boom. That's it. And it took off from there, is what she said. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Cheryl. But we need to get you on. We need to get you on the show. Where am I? Where am I? Increase. How do you increase social media engagement? Okay, so that's one thing, about getting your brand out there. Be consistent, okay? Stay consistent, add value, making sure you're reaching somebody. Just from the comments that are coming in, I know I'm reaching somebody and I'm adding value to something, right? Okay, so it's the days that you don't get stuff, that's when you have to rethink, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I need to deliver differently. Maybe I need to, change up something that I'm doing, right? So if you post things and you're not getting any engagement or no likes or anything like that, that means you need to kind of redo some things, kind of do some. It's kind of like market research, right? Where everything is not going to work, right? And if it doesn't work, just come back to the drawing board and say, hey, what am I doing? What did I do on this one that worked, but this one didn't work? So what did I do that I didn't do on the first one that didn't work? So I do this stuff all the time, right? It's not like every post, every content that I create and put out, I get tons of people engaging in it. That doesn't happen. It's not realistic, right? So, but you got to continue to do it, right? That's why I do lives every Monday through Friday. That's why I do postings 2 or 3 times a day. That's why I do this show on air with Russell Hotel. That's why I do What the Hell with Cheryl every Friday. And that's why I do Did You Choose Hospitality or Did Hospitality Choose You? Because I'm reaching the people that maybe I did not reach on the postings or maybe not on the show or What the Hell or whatever. So it's a revolving thing, right? You have to continue to do things to not necessarily reinvent yourself or to swerve or whatever, to be known for something, so people know exactly what you do. So the worst thing to me is that people don't know they don't know who I am, first and foremost, and then 2, they don't know what I can do, they don't know what I do, and they don't know how I can help them. Those are 3 of the worst things to me, right? So I have to continue to do these things because I want to reach the people that don't know what I do or don't know how I can help them. And remember this, I always say this, social media is for the people that don't know you or don't know you exist or what you do. Okay, it ain't for Cheryl and all them. They already know what I do, right? I'm trying to reach the people in back of them. Okay, so there you go. Cheryl is very talented. Yes, she is. When will you have me on? You let me know. Yeah, you let me know. It's on your schedule. This is not. It's not a. I don't have a segment for this. Like on air with Russell Hotels is every Tuesday at 1:00. It's not like that. So you let me know when you want to do it, and we'll do it. But remember that it's live. It's live on YouTube and LinkedIn as well, just like this show is. So it can be 1:00 in the afternoon. It can be 8:00 in the morning. It can be 5 at night. Just let me know when you're available, and we'll make it happen. I like these things. Okay, so consistency, value, and be authentic. Be you, right? Make sure you be your authentic self, okay? Just be your authentic self. So once you know that, okay, what are the things you can do? What are some of the tools? I use stories. I do reels. I do lives. I do YouTube shorts. I do reels on Facebook as well. I haven't done TikTok in a while, but you can do TikTok too. So whatever it takes, excuse me 1 second while I take a sip of water. And that's for the people, listen on the podcast. When there's a lapse, you don't hear anything, I want to let people know. That was good. I talk a lot, and sometimes you get kind of parched. So okay, where was I? So yeah, tools I use a lot of stories, reels, and lives. And you know what? You can use those interchangeably, right? So if I use one posting or one content, I created some content, and use that as a story. Use the same thing as a reel. You can do that, right? And then I do lives. Like I said, I do lives every single Monday through Friday. You can do lives on YouTube. You can do lives on you can do it on LinkedIn as well, but you have to have permission to do it. Facebook lives, so you can do whatever. I choose to do my lives on Instagram, and I take those if I think it's worthy of being on LinkedIn, I'll take that same live and put it on LinkedIn as well. So you can cross promote or cross pollinate, right? So one form of content, but put it on different platforms. Just one form of content, put it on different platforms. So that one content, I can put it on, 5 different platforms. Vegan water, yes, Dylan, that's vegan water. Will's got some funny people, right? Okay. You think I'm funny? You just listen to these people. Who's hiring? I almost forgot. I haven't looked at this thing. Who's hiring? Okay, real quick. The Sheraton Pasadena, they're looking for a general manager. The Proper Hotel downtown Los Angeles, that's a Marriott Design Hotel. They're looking for an AGM, which stands for Assistant General Manager. The Hilton Orange County Costa Mesa, they're looking for a Senior Sales Manager. The Proper Hotel downtown LA, they're looking for a Sales Manager. And the Hotel Angelino, which is in Brentwood, is right there off the 405 freeway, right there by, what is it called? In Westwood, or Brentwood, Westwood. They're looking for a Director of Sales and Marketing. So there you go. Oh, and the Proper Hotel Santa Monica, they're looking for a managing director. I don't know what the heck that is, but a director who manages, I guess. So there you go. That's more operations than anything. Non-meat eats. I'm trying to think. What did I eat that was, because normally I share, what I ate, what restaurant I went to, but I don't think I did anything between the last show. Other than, I've always been in the mushrooms, so I've been doing a lot of stir fries with mushrooms. So if that's trumpet, if that's cremini, if that's button, what's the other one? Shiitakes. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of mushroom stuff. So today is Taco Tuesday. So I probably do some, what's the portobello? Yeah, I'm gonna do some portobello mushroom tacos. Boom, that's what I'm gonna do. I just came up with it off the cuff, right? So that's what I'm gonna do today. So let's see what else. Tomorrow at 2:30. Call me when you need someone to talk to. Call me. Yeah, call me, Cheryl, and we'll go over that. Call me after the show. Okay, what else? 3Ps. We're about to finish this thing. We're about to be done in a minute. 3Ps. This is ROH's 3Ps. Purpose, passion, and perseverance. Purpose. Know why you do what you do. I mean, I know why I do this show. I'm, trying to just link with people in the hospitality space, or maybe not even in the hospitality space, because there's a lot of things that maybe people don't know about hotels or hospitality or restaurants or whatever. So hopefully I'm that link and that resource for people, right? If you need something, you know who you can reach out to. You have questions, you know who you can reach out to and ask. So more than anything, I try to be a resource for people. Passion. Either you have it or you don't. Be excited about what you do, right? And that's contagious. Being excited is contagious, right? So if you're not excited about what you're doing or what you're trying to do, if I'm not excited about trying to get this Russell of Hotels rate, who the heck else is going to be excited about it, right? So it starts with you, right? So it starts with me. I got to have the passion. I got to be excited about it. And that's what, and by golly, I'm going to be excited about it, okay? And I'm going to get it. So yeah, just have passion for what you do. And if you don't have passion, do something else, okay? Go do something else. Whatever that is, go do something else. Perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. And remember, we swerve on air with Russell of Hotels. We don't pivot, we swerve. Meaning we see the crap coming in the air in the horizon and we swerve around the crap, okay? Pivoting, you're already in the crap. And you're just like, okay, how do I get out of this? How do I find myself in this? But yeah, so that's a difference, okay? So there is a difference, okay? Just think about that for a second, and you'll figure out that it is a difference. I'm going to snip that. I'm going to be doing a lot of mushroom line for later usage. I'm going to snip that. I've been doing a lot of mushrooms. Okay, all right. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm just reading the comments, and Dylan's talking about mushrooms now. Okay, so maybe he's gonna eat some. I don't know. Eat the mushroom, not the shrooms. The mushrooms. Okay, the ones you get in the store, not the toadstools that are out there growing wild in the yard. Okay, don't eat those. Okay, that's a difference. Oh my God. Well, that's it. You know what? That is it. I appreciate you guys joining. This is my contact. This is how you guys get a hold of me. Never in a show or anything without, giving them a call to action, a CTA, right? So, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. At Russell of Hotels. My email, if you wanted to email me, Russell at russellofhotels.com. My website is russellofhotels.com as well. This was show number 191. I do appreciate people. Who would have thought 191? I'm almost at 200 shows, right? I just thought about that, right? We got 9 shows to go, and we'll be at 200. What am I going to do for show number 200? The same thing I did for the show 191. That's it. I'm just going to bring you, the content. I'm going to bring you whatever. I'm going to bring you this excitement. That's what I'm going to do. So, and always book direct. So regardless what goes on, if you didn't learn anything today, when you book your next hotel, make sure you book it direct. That means go through the website. That means call them on that 800 toll-free number or whatever it is. Make sure you do that, okay? I'd appreciate it. And then the hotels would appreciate it as well. And look out for that Russell of Hotels rate because it's coming. And last question and last comment, Dylan says, you sounded like a tour guide giving advice about staying in Phoenix for the bowl. You're very educated about that market. Oh, you mean on my live this morning earlier when I was talking about, okay, so Nick Hamilton was asking about, what hotels would I recommend in Phoenix for the Super Bowl? And I don't know specific hotel. I mean, I know specific hotels, but I'm like, this is what I would look for. If I'm going to the game, if I'm going to Phoenix for Super Bowl, I'm looking for select service or limited service hotels. I said, and I gave examples. I said Courtyard, Hampton Inns, Hilton Garden Inns, Holiday Inn Expresses. Those are what I'm looking at because I want to get in and out. It's not about the hotel for the Super Bowl. It's about what's happening at the Super Bowl, right? So, and those hotels are nice. They're easy to get in and out. You don't have to pay for parking, most of them, right? So I'm all about cutting costs because I'm gonna spend that money at the Super Bowl, at the Super Bowl experience or whatever heck is going on at the Super Bowl, right? So that's how I'm a roll. And I also always remember this: no matter what venue it is or what destination it is, the further that you're away from the venue, the cheaper the hotel is going to be. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. At least to me, it is. So if the game is at SoFi Stadium, where most of the hotels are at, the closest hotels are at LAX area, right on Century Boulevard, which is about 2.5 miles. Those are going to be the most expensive hotels. Move away from there, and the hotels are going to get, less expensive. Let's just say that. But remember, any major event that goes on in a destination, that gives hotels the right to go up on their rates, right? I'm not saying they're gouging, but that gives them a right to double the price, triple the price, quadruple the price in some cases, right? Because it's a one-time event, and they're trying to take advantage of that. And I understand that, but just know the game and just know that, okay, the further I get away from here, the cheaper the hotels are going to be. So, but anyway, that's it. You guys have a great day. Thank you guys for your comments. Cheryl's going to take us out. So I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.